Hello. Trying to figure it out. Is your mic on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
It was just that simple thing this time.
Who turns microphones off?
I don't know. People are probably putting it on default settings.
Bunch
Anyways.
of hooligans.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome back to the Slanted Sandwich.
Yeah, the funkiest, most colorful mermaid Martian capital in Central Texas.
We didn't even do this for 2 weeks.
I know. So my son got an ear infection, and we kind of had to cancel last week. It's always like that. He gets sick on Fridays. And then,
what was before that? It was some sort of holiday.
Yeah, there was spring break, I think. Something.
No. There's something more important.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Anyway, 2 weeks ago, there was some sort of thing going on.
Anyways, so we...
Can't remember.
What?
Can't even remember.
Well, you know what? I'm having a hard time. This morning, this Monday morning, my head is just cloudy. Anyways, well, we are the Slanted Sandwich. I'm Lauren Hoffman.
And I'm Bob Ratliff.
Yes, we're here to serve you the weird news, candid, conversational, sensational lunch hour from noon till 2.
I guess it's sensational.
Yeah, of course it's sensational.
I feel a little sensationalized.
Oh, Bob's just upset because we all went to a party this weekend and we had a conversation about him and I can't remember.
They go, Bob,
can't remember.
we got to tell you this thing. We were talking about
Virginia
you.
Worley and I were talking.
And I go, okay, cool. And what are we talking about? What are you talking about?
I know. I'm like,
I can't remember.
I'm reaching to the depths
sure
of
very
my
important.
brain.
Whatever it is, I imagine it's very important.
Yeah.
But we can't remember. Neither one of us. They giggled like that maniacally.
I know. Like, what if we really didn't talk about you at all? We were just like messing with you. I'm kidding. I don't know. I remember you came up in conversation a couple of times, so you must be popular.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Yeah. So before we get into the headlines, of course, Bob's always posting interesting stuff on his Facebook feed. And
look at this amazing sea slug.
Man, it's everything. Like every day, every hour, there's something really awesome that he posts. I'm like, I can't beat him.
I can't beat him. Dude.
That guy like rolling
I'll tell you the trick.
I'll
tell you the trick to the Facebook.
What's that?
And I still call it the Facebook, like a
Is
tube.
That's the trick.
Is when you see that something cool comes from a cool page, you like that page.
Yeah.
And then they'll show you their other cool stuff.
Yeah, you taught me that, and so I remember.
Yeah. Some people hate Facebook. They hate it.
But
you know what I would figured out?
What's that?
Is like 5 years, 6 years in, I got like 30-something people that I just can't hang with anymore.
I know.
You're too mean. I gotta let you go.
It's like driving. People take out their inner selves on the road sometimes, and it's the same.
I am a demon on the internet.
Get out of my
pure
way.
hatred. Whoa!
Yeah.
Take all of this.
It's not road rage, it's Facebook rage.
Oh, yeah. They're probably even worse in traffic. You know?
They talk about what they posted on Facebook while they're in traffic.
Aren't you going 90 miles an hour? Can't you see that being 3 inches from the back of your bumper means you need to speed up?
I mean, there was a time when I'm like, why can't we just make LCD like signs in the back of the window, in the rear window, saying, hey, get off my bumper. I mean, I could see that getting pretty ugly.
George Carlin, you know, he's like, have you ever noticed how everybody going faster than you is a maniac and everybody going slower than you is an idiot?
Yep.
Like, yeah, there you are. You're stuck between a bunch of maniacs and a bunch of idiots, you know?
Yeah.
What does that make me?
Normal.
You're one of those normies.
Yeah. But anyway, so going back to all that interesting stuff. So Bob's a little clairvoyant. He's got some intuitive abilities, and you just never know. So tell us about your
my
dream.
grandma showing up in my dream.
Yeah, that's so super creepy.
Yeah, she told me exactly how I was gonna die.
God. So how did it play out? Like what?
Well, see, it was okay. Well, like, the family was there, and then she shows up, And I'm like, I obviously recognize her, kind of surprised me. I'm like, oh, hey, Grandma, what's going on? What are you doing here? And then, like, everybody looked at me, and she's like, you're the only person who can see me. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, what's going on? And I'll just hush up here and let you talk. And, yeah, she told me, like, the whole thing about, like, surgery that went bad or something like that. Oh, yeah. It was like, oh, okay, so.
But did she tell you when?
That's the whole point. I was like, so what you trying to say, Grandma? Are you saying life is short, or you need me like I got to start packing my bags?
Right.
And then I woke up. Dang. Yeah, I know, right? And my aunt, she says that she's like, man, that is just like her to be messing with you,
right?
Like that.
Like,
she probably didn't even mean anything.
True.
She loves messing with you. She loves messing with you. Remember that time you got your glasses and she just walked in and she's like, oh, Mr. Dork, you know? You know what I'm saying? She loved it. She loved messing with me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this is
you can't
dreams.
wrestle old people. Like,
no, you can't.
You can't just give them a noogie. I'm like, Grandma, yeah, it's coming to you.
But then you see old people doing like yoga and you're like,
now for the Indian rug burn. Oh!
Dude, those things
you know, even though she deserved it. Wedgie, Grandma
probably
Wedgie.
left some crazy bruises on her arms.
Right over the head. Atomic Grandma Wedgie. Oh, she had it all coming to her, too. But I can't. I love her too
I don't know.
much.
I just think of giant granny panties when I think of
She
like,
hit
a
people,
massive...
too, man. She's abusive. She's like, did I ever show you the old 1-2? And, like, she would hit you in the stomach and in the face.
Sure, she's not going to just kill you while you're sleeping, and that's how you're going to, go to the next plane.
Everything I need to know, I need to learn from my grandma. The old 1-2. You know what I mean?
1-2.
You don't hit somebody. You act like you're showing them a move that just happens to hurt like heck.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
Didn't that hurt? That hurt, right? You can get down somebody else. You know, not me. Somebody else. But like, this is how it works. Bam, bam, bam. You know, did that hurt? That hurt pretty good?
Jeez.
That's how you fight somebody. You just act like you're teaching them how to fight while you're whooping up on them. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toe like that. That was just you're in the way. Anyway, you know, like what was the what's his face? Guy with the,
I don't.
You know who I'm talking about. Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks? I don't know this guy.
He was whooping up on everybody, but everybody's like, oh, Jar Jar's clumsy. He's clumsy. But it's like, you know, they made a pretty good argument that he's actually a pretty badass Jedi.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There is a...
He just makes it all look accidental.
One of our topics today, we'll get to it eventually, is Japan is suffering a ninja shortage.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
Alluding to that.
Because ninjas are all about, like,
yeah.
You know, I didn't mean poke you in the face like that. I feel real bad.
Yeah.
With a stick from 30 feet away. That was totally accident.
Jeez. Well, you remember a couple years ago, I guess it was around 4th of July when they had that crazy bird falling from the sky.
Was he really crazy? Did we do an MSDS psychological exam?
I don't know. It was the first time I saw. It was the first time I saw stories about birds just dropping dead.
We don't want to dismiss
the
claims of this bird. What was he talking about?
Well, I don't know. This was a long time ago, but some weird news coming out of Houston. Hundreds of birds found dead in Galveston.
Oh yeah.
They're migratory birds. Found dead after an entire flock crashed into the American National Insurance Building.
Jeez. Somebody ate
course,
some bean burritos
building.
and just like, you know, like and the birds are like trying to fly through it, and there's like, I can't.
It was
it smells too much like bean burrito. Methane. Somebody's been eating broccoli and onions. Oh
God.
We're gonna have to land.
Oh no!
I got some theories.
They did not land though. They dropped dead. This was at the Moody Plaza. Office.
The Nudie?
Moody, MOODY, which is they have like a huge aquarium there. We went there a year ago. It's actually pretty cool, but it's big. But anyways, workers found the dead birds when they arrived to work early last Thursday morning, according to Josh Henderson of the Galveston Police Department's Animal Service Unit. Henderson says they collected 395 deceased birds, mostly warblers and orioles. or Orioles. Orioles that were found outside the building. The Houston Audubon Society says the bird kill was likely caused by a combination of bad weather and bright lights, which I guess I didn't get the news that there was bad weather this weekend because it was beautiful here. They believe... I
wasted my weekend.
Oh.
Feel bad. Whatever you did this weekend, it probably wasn't fully utilizing your weekend.
Productively,
Shame.
no.
Shame. So, did you do anything exciting? No.
Bob, I promise to include you in the next.
It was an awesome
next
party.
Dave
You know what I hate hearing about is the party of the century that I missed.
So yeah, Vagabond Dave had a pretty awesome house party. It's
like I have a little FOMO. I'm not gonna lie. I got that FOMO going, that little fear of missing out. I'm not gonna lie. I keep it like my pilot light is lit. I never really put that fire out.
Grr.
And then when you tell me like, oh yeah, you missed the party of the century. It's like
who's there? I'm like,
everyone,
100 or more people.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a hunch too that I was like, why? Like,
you know what I did on a Saturday night? I went out into my tool shed and I beat on a rock and made a thing by myself. I had nothing going on. No! Yeah, my FOMO is on fire.
They're getting frustrated with rocks. While everybody else is like partying, having a good time.
Yeah.
Some people doing Tai Chi.
So awful.
Some people blowing glass.
Oh no! And then you told me that y'all had a conversation about me that you can't even remember. It was that good of a party that you just can't even remember.
I maybe had like 1.5 glasses of beer too. I haven't drank. I did not. That's my first alcoholic beverage.
Don't ever tell anybody that you
New Year's
missed the party of the century.
Yeah,
I really honestly, if somebody asked me how a party went, you know what I tell them? I go, man, that was the lamest party. That was the lamest party. There was nobody there, and.
Aww.
If anybody tells you anything different, don't listen to them. I was there. Cops showed up at 10:30 at night, and then everything.
Well,
everybody left.
It was there
was a game of Scrabble going on in the corner.
It was a ferocious game of Scrabble. Let me tell you, it was That's
what I tell
heavy.
people.
But I mean, I don't
want to tell them. What's his face fell through the table, climbing on a tree to jump into the pool. We had to take him to the hospital. It was cracking. There was some stuff happening. Like tops were coming off. There were people falling in.
Now there was no pool here. So you didn't. So I guess, you're good. You're good.
Looked like Woodstock. People getting muddy for no reason. Someone brought a pig.
Let's get nostalgic.
There's a guy just swinging a dead cat. That's everything I don't tell people when they ask how the party went.
It's like I had a lot of glorious memories of the party,
moonshine.
And then I
didn't even
remember.
know you could get moonshine.
Jeez. Well, there wasn't any of that. It was really 4 kegs. Crystal Pistol
only 4
was distributing the beer.
Yeah.
And it was a good party. I'm not gonna, well, at least I'm truthful. I mean, I guess I could be like, it was the lamest party of the century.
Yeah.
There was a band and nobody was there. Anyways, but so, well, I mean, did something miraculous come out of your woodshed at least?
Yeah, I made an eccentric. 2 people liked it on Facebook. Took me 4.5 hours.
It's confirmation.
Yeah, I worked really hard to make a very unpopular thing. Golly, hey, if y'all are listening right now, go onto my Facebook page called Apocalyptic, spelled APOCALITHICS, and like that last image I made. Man, I was. It's got this big. It's the top one.
And
buy a shirt too, man. I'm
in lieu
poor.
of Bob missing out on an amazing party, we should all go and like his stuff.
Yeah, I missed out on a party just to make this thing.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the foam tendencies. Gotcha. Anyways, well, I mean, it was I got my Friday night, my Saturday night, but I'll tell you what, my Friday night, I'm working on a mermaid sculpture. There's 10 of us working on this thing, on 10 mermaids that we're gonna have distributed around San Marcos at some point later this year. And a lot of hard work that hopefully by the end of it, I might know how to paint a car. I don't know. I'm going to use some automotive paint. I had to do a lot of sanding.
So you're painting that mermaid. And
eventually I'll paint
it wasn't just like cut and dry, here's your mermaid painted. Mm-hmm. What'd you have to do?
Well, I will paint it eventually, but it's like I said, it's like 90% prep work and 10%
You had to sand the entire thing down?
Yeah, we'll get in. If we want to talk about it, we can. We're already up for a break, so.
How much time we got?
It's like 12:15 right now.
All right, let's do this break.
All right, we'll be back.
I need your attention.
Should we cuddle? God, I will get fired from this non-paying job so fast. Yeah, she's married while she masturbates. When we cuddle, will you tell me if you can hear the ocean? Validate me, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Martian Mommy.
That was so bad.
All we mamas got haters.
I'm a woman. I need your attention.
Well, that was an amazing promo
Guys,
with Kelly Stone.
I'm sorry.
Well, no.
Kelly Stone.
Yeah, Kelly Stone. She's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. From 8 to 10. She's
right.
hilarious.
Anyway,
I
going
like
back
her.
to fear of missing out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we could drone on about that for another 45 minutes.
You know, I remember one time when I was playing football in high school, and this is one of those things that you get dragged into, and you just see it like a freight train coming. There's nothing you can do about it. And the head coach was like, I want to do something special for our senior football players. And my dad's like, well, you know, we could make them trophy. And he's like, I'm a junior. I didn't even play football. Like after my freshman year, I didn't even play football after that. We had a 0-9 season. I didn't win a single game. I got really tired of losing. I was just like, all right, y'all don't have a football program. Let's get out of here. I'm going to do something else. And, but before that, the thing that was like kind of the straw on the camel's back was when I ended up with like a sack full of football helmets.
What?
It was a giant sack. There was about 64 football helmets in this sack.
64?
Yeah.
A huge sack of helmets.
It was a gigantic sack of football helmets. And my dad's like, well, I told Coach Waugh that you would sand all of those helmets so then we could repaint it so that the senior high school boys could have a trophy.
Okay.
And I was just like, that's pointless. And I why? And he's like, he just looks at me. He's like so disappointed. Like I'm just like, you got the most disappointed look on his face. Like you're gonna do it. You need to call your buddies because I told them you're gonna do it, and I told them I'm a man of my word, and blah blah blah. And you're gonna have to sand these helmets, okay?
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
what have you gotten yourself into that involved me somehow? And so, I mean, I'm like calling up friends. I'm like, dude, I got stuck in this horrible situation. I need you to like help me with this. So we get like, I don't know, $40 worth of sandpaper to sand like all these helmets. And I'm just sitting there just breathing all this gold glitter dust. It took me 4 weekends. I sanded it, and I sanded every single one of those. Then I handed it over to Coach Waugh, and I go, here's your sanded helmets. And he didn't make a single, he didn't have them re-spray paint. He didn't make trophies. He didn't even do it. I just sanded a bunch of helmets, handed it to a guy who stuck it in a dark closet.
It's still there somewhere.
It's still there, just a bunch of sanded helmets that never got anything done. That's what you call perma-pissed. When you're like just so upset, like it's like I don't know, I can't make sense of this. I'm 30. That was like 17 years ago. I still don't know how to make sense of that. How did that happen? How did I get sucked into that?
See, I thought like your dad I thought that it would be a continuing project. It was actually painting them too, like, you know, but I guess not.
Nah,
At least you didn't have to do that, right? I mean,
there was no
like
shining lining on any of that whole story. It just was just like, I learned a valuable lesson though. I was a $1 million lesson in that. Is don't let people volunteer you. Like start hitting back. Start knocking teeth out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's called slavery.
So after that, like, has your dad like proposed another project?
No, he didn't learn that lesson. That was my lesson. I had to learn that lesson. He didn't learn anything. I got volunteered all the time. I just learned to go, no. No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me.
Can't make me.
Jeez.
I'm saying life's about learning lessons.
Does
That
he
was a
still
good
give
one.
you like the traditional like sad look?
Yeah, he
angry
say, look at that all day long. I don't care.
Just
Keep
sneering
your
at
face
you.
look like that, it'll stick.
Everybody's gonna think they did something terribly wrong.
I don't care. You look at me however you want to look at me. I'm going to go play Nintendo in my room by myself. You think about what you did. You're on your own, buddy.
I mean, that sounds like something you would do to a kid for punishment.
Yeah, I was a good kid. I was a good
Jeez.
kid. I didn't do anything wrong.
It's pretty hilarious. All right. Well, switching subjects drastically here. All right.
It wasn't just that. It was like unscrewing all the face mask and really doing a
Oh
good
my
job
gosh,
of it.
really?
Yeah, it had to be up to spec. There wasn't any like slacking on this job. It was like, oh no, I need a finer sanding on. Did you go all the way through the grit system? We're gonna start at 40 and go all the way to 500 grit. You know, this thing's got a sparkle. I want it down to the plastic. You know what I mean? I'm talking about.
Like, what was your mom doing on this? Like, was she like kind of in the background, just like shaking her head?
What does she? What would she care? She's not the one out there saying.
Well, no, but I
mean, neither was my dad. That was just something you don't volunteer. Life lesson is do not volunteer for people. You know what I mean? Like that was like that was like $1,000 gig.
Yeah.
If I had to, you know what I mean? That was me trying to have maybe a weekend job to pay for a car. You know, something like that. Mow some lawns. I don't know. Do something fruitful.
Sounds like you're still pretty bitter.
No, this is my life. I learned. I'm full of lessons. You know, you say like
yeah.
this guy. The other day, I got into this beautiful conversation about regret. You know, and this guy said, you know, what do you regret about high school? And I made this like mile-long list. I'm like, this is all the stuff. You really want to know? Bam, 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 bam. I was like 64 different things. Like, I regret all of that stuff. I would have changed everything about that. And this guy's like, I have no regrets. Followed by 4 other people that are like, I have no regrets. And I was like, oh, yeah? What an arrogant little... You know, so-and-so. Like, everybody just bared their soul. They were willing to embarrass themselves. They were willing to pour their heart out and show you all this stuff. Oh, God, I was such a... You know, confessional over here. And you, oh, yeah, you did it all perfect? What were you, the valedictorian? What did you do? What exactly was so brilliant and sparkly about your... Well, that's how you gain wisdom. No, that's not how you gain wisdom, man. You gain wisdom by screwing up real bad, have a bunch of funny stories. Those are wise people that have these messed up stories about how they made mistakes and learned from them. And they have regrets. It would never do it that way again. That's wisdom. That is wisdom. Not regretting.
Right.
All the wise guys I know are like, man, I could tell you some stupid stories about some stupid things that I did or were done around me that I witnessed. Mm-hmm. That's wisdom.
All right. That's Bob's definition.
That's my rant.
We need to make like a book of Bobisms.
Yeah.
Book of Bobisms. His definitions of everything.
I mean, even Albert Einstein's over there like, maybe I shouldn't have made that atom bomb, you know?
I regret it.
I regret it. I didn't realize that we're going to do the thing. Never mind.
Oh, man.
You know, he's a smart cookie, as they say.
Yeah, I think he was a little smart.
I think he dated his cousin or something, but
I
never know he's perfect.
Maybe he was just trying to preserve the good genes or something. I don't know. Put a few bad in there. I don't know. Okay, so switching subjects again. Okay, the military. This is interesting and could be kind of controversial. The military is using human brainwaves to teach robots how to shoot guns. So, I mean, we all kind of knew that would, that's where technology is
Killer
going,
robots?
right? Killer robots.
Oh, great.
I mean, it's like the army is like, oh, the robots, they're getting more advanced. Well, we need to get on top of this. They need to learn how to use those weapons.
And that's how it starts. And then 40, 50
Yeah.
years from now, you're going to see some robots on the side of the road, like, need money for batteries. The government cut my pension. Living under bridges, bunch of homeless robots.
There'd be so much clutter everywhere if that was the case.
They taught me how to shoot.
Stop it. That's someone's remains. Just don't touch it.
Not gonna lie, need money for oil, batteries, chicken wings. What are robots into?
Man, I
Probably
would
not chicken
hope
wings.
that, we could get off a lot of this oil by that time. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it says modern sensors can see farther than humans. Electronic circuits can shoot faster than nerves and muscles can pull a trigger. Humans still outperform armed robots in knowing what to shoot at. But new research funded in part by the Army may soon narrow that gap. Researchers from DCS Corp and the Army Research Lab fed data sets of human brain waves into a neural network, a type of artificial intelligence, which learned to recognize when a human is making a targeting decision. They presented their paper, the researchers' paper, on it at the annual Intelligent User Interface Conference in Cyprus in March. I wonder why they did that in Cyprus. Okay, so why is this a big deal? Machine learning relies on highly structured data, numbers in rows, difficult for computers. Numbers in rows that software can read. But identifying a target in the chaotic real world is incredibly difficult for computers. The human brain does it easily, structuring data in the form of memories, but not in a language machines can understand. It is a problem that the military has been grappling with for years. The article goes on to explain the goals of the technology, but research does not mean that robots can now outshoot humans. There's a lot more work to do that. But the neural set could make that study go a lot faster. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that?
That military, say necessity is the mother of invention. So what we really need to do is figure out a way to murder people without paying those people to murder them, because that's been a problem. We've gotten too good at healing people up on the battlefield. We got prosthetics. We got medicine. We're supposed to die on the battlefield. Problem is they're outliving the battlefield, and that's expensive. And we don't want to pay those people for being, having arms and legs blown off, face blown off, stepping on landmines, getting bit by a camel spider, using radioactive, depleted uranium ammo, Agent Orange, all the stuff that could possibly happen to you on a battlefield. You know what I mean? Maybe you just get a bad sunburn. If you're lucky, get shot in the buttocks. Like,
What?
they go $1 million shot. But that's what I think. I think we're trying to outsource, murder to machines, like with drones, right? Didn't we do drone strikes? Wasn't that the big deal with Obama?
Yeah.
He's like, we'll just fly these over and.
But
I got a brilliant idea. We'll kill a guy, and then when they're having his funeral, we'll kill the funeral.
So I guess in the future, like wars between countries would just essentially be robots fighting each other.
No, because we're not picking on people with robots. We're picking on people without robots. We're picking on people who have a donkey
what if they
that are pulling their pots and pans around.
Yeah, but
Those people have oil.
bomb that guy.
See a Beeb over there? He's hauling around a hookah, hanging off the side of his donkey. That guy needs a bullet.
Oh my gosh, Bob. Jeez.
It's not like Habib's got a freaking robot.
But somebody's going to feel sorry
It'll
for him.
always be
and then
robots versus donkey people, okay? I have a feeling.
Donkey people.
Dude, they're going to be... Gosh. I only bring my wares to town on 1 day a week, a 20-mile hike. And the drone just comes over and just nails them. Bam,
God. Did you see the drone that was like a bird? The video?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you posted it. I don't know.
Bird comes by with a little machine gun.
I thought it was a pigeon.
Yeah.
That's scary.
I know.
It's scary. Okay, well,
scaring.
we might as well just go ahead and cut to break. Yep, it's time. All right. as you know, we'll be back.
Texas and rest of the world. I'm West Texas, and I want to invite you aboard the Mystery Train, your Central Texas connection to primal 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, rock and roll, rhythm and blues, garage, punk, and all things in between. From Elvis Presley to the Ramones, I'll be your engineer for 3 hours every Sunday evening, 7 to 10 p.m., taking you on a journey through the innards of my vast record collection. So kick back and enjoy the ride. This is the Mystery Train. Only on kcsm.org, San Marcos Community Radio.
Hey, everybody, we're back. We're back with a Slanted Sandwich.
Hey, what's our sandwich? We'll have to think of a sandwich.
Yeah, during the next break, we got to look that one up. As y'all know.
Last time was bagels and lox.
You remember that? Oh, gosh. Wow, bagels and lox. It
But
sounds
we're
like
gonna
a
have a different
restaurant
sandwich.
or something. I don't
Some with
know.
sauerkraut.
Well, I was looking for more news articles that we didn't have on our paper. So neurologists have identified brain lesions that could be linked to religious fundamentalism. How humans sort facts from faith.
Sort facts?
From faith, yeah.
Oh, they sort facts.
From faith, yeah.
Although they're snorting it up like, oh, those are some good facts. I'm addicted to information. Oh.
Not quite. More like faith.
Feel that drip.
God. Jeez. Okay, so this is from Science Alert.
Science alert.
Hunting for God in our gray matter seems to be a popular topic for neurologists, with past studies comparing religious highs with drug-induced ones, linking spiritual experiences with neurotransmitters such as serotonin, and identifying which parts of the brain, if any, could be responsible for a faith in the supernatural. Now, a new study has now found that those with damage to a section of the brain associated with planning become less open to new ideas, explaining why some people are more likely to become extreme in their religious beliefs. And so I'm guessing they did some kind of
They act
study.
like this is uncommon or something. Like, I think everybody's related to somebody who just goes on religious tangents, whether they can help it or not.
Well, I think who knows?
If you're in Texas.
Who knows? Who knows? I'm like, is this just a jab at,
Jab at religion.
fundamentalists?
I was looking that up. I said, these people are saying they don't like sinners. They call everything a sin or say these people are sinners. I thought you were supposed to welcome the sinners. Wasn't it the Pharisees that were like,
Jesus, he's always hanging out with sinners. He's always picking grapes on the Sabbath. Yeah, he knows how to party on the mountain. Look at his holy mountain party.
He was just like,
oh, what kind of radio show are they running there?
who's that? What for a host?
We got Westboro Baptist Church all hanging out at the funeral. Like, you guys are going to hell. Like, is there nothing?
I mean, their signs
They're
are
like
pretty
the Pharisees,
tacky.
man. They're not the ones like that's what they didn't. They were hating on Jesus. They said, look, this guy's guilty by affiliation. He's hanging out with fishermen and ne'er-do-wells over there turning water into wine so he can party more. We can't have that.
One glass.
We're trying to
One
keep it
glass
conservative
only.
around here.
Honestly, like too much wine is not.
They were like
fun.
the original Baptist. They were like the elders from Footloose. Look at Jesus over there dancing. I just want to express myself through dance. Blessed are the dancers.
That's a pretty hilarious image in my mind of that happening.
Everybody
Gosh.
talks about dancing Jesus.
Wow.
I heard he could cut a rug.
Who knows, man? Okay, well, you want to do the next one, Bob? The next
Squirrels? Can we talk about squirrels for a minute? Let's talk about
You
squirrels.
want to skip to squirrels for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so
We'll go back to ninja
I'll let
problems
you.
in a
I'll let
minute.
you read that one. That's like on the second to last page there.
All right, let's see. Derp. Mysterious moving rocks. Japan is suffering ninja shortage. Sea monsters. Squirrels. Okay. By the late 1700s, a golden era of squirrel ownership was in full swing. Squirrels were sold in markets and found in the homes of the wealthy urban families, and portraits of well-to-do children holding a reserved, polite, upper-class squirrel attached to a gold chain leash were proudly displayed, some of which are currently at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Most pet squirrels were American gray squirrels, although red squirrels and flying squirrels also were around, enchanting the country with their devil-may-care attitudes and fluffy bodies. By the 19th century, a canon of squirrel care literature emerged for the enthusiast. In the 1851 book Domestic Pets, Their Habits and Management, Jane London writes about how writes
more about squirrels as pets.
Right, and devotes an entire chapter to the beautiful little creature, very agile and graceful in its movements. Squirrels may be taught to jump from one hand to the other to search for a hidden nut, but as soon as it knows its name and the person who feeds it, Loudon also waxes on their habits, like jumping around a room and peeping out from wooden eaves, writing that an instance is recorded of no less than 17 lumps of sugar being found in the cornice of a drawing room in which a squirrel has been kept. Besides the innumerable nuts, pieces of biscuit, Loudon's advice, when your squirrel is not running around the room, provide it with a tin-lined cage that has a running wheel. Keeping pet squirrels has a downside for humans too, which eventually became clear. Despite their owners' best attempts at taming them, they're still wild animals. As time wore on, squirrels were increasingly viewed as pests. By the 1910s, squirrels became so despised in California that the state issued a widespread public attack on a once adored creature. From the 1920s through the 1970s, many states slowly adopted wildlife conservation and exotic pet laws, which prohibited keeping squirrels at home. Today, experts and enthusiasts alike warn that squirrels don't always make ideal pets, mainly because their finicky diet, space requirements, and scratchy claws. None of this, of course, will deter the most determined squirrel owner. Fans of Bob Ross might remember his pet squirrel named Peapod, and some squirrel owners are rekindling an obsession by making their pets Instagram famous. Still, wild squirrels surely agree it's probably best for we're now mostly leaving them to the forest.
Little critters. Cute little critters. So tell the story about your mom and the squirrel and the baby.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had some squirrels living in the backyard, and we would give them food and put nuts out for them. Mm-hmm. And we had a tight bond with the squirrels. And one of them had babies, and the mama lived in the tree outside of her house. And she rolled up her baby like a little golf ball and put it like in her mouth and crawled down the tree, unfolded the baby squirrel in front of my mom, and then rolled it back up and went up the tree.
It's like, look what I've got.
Yeah. I made a thing.
I have it. You don't.
I mean, it just had to show it off. Aww. It's like, look, y'all are cool. Here's my thing.
That's really sweet, actually.
Isn't that the cutest thing ever?
Makes you wonder if animals really do take so much pride in their babies that they show it to other species.
I like having them around, but I don't want them in the house. There's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't want to have them in the house unless they're just real cool.
Well, why?
Well, because one time there was this one that I was trying to manage in the backyard. It was a messed up squirrel. It had messed up back legs.
Oh.
And I was trying to do something with it, and I had to pick it up, and I used welding gloves, and I picked it up, and it bit through my welding glove.
What?
It just reached around and was like, and it just took a chunk out of the welding glove. And I'm like, that could have been my finger.
Yeah.
After that, I was like, okay, Squirrels, you're cool. You're still my spirit animal. I love you, but I'm gonna let you do your thing. You can be around, but I'm not trying to have you like in a cage with a wheel. I'll do your thing out here. I'll bring you food. I'll have names for you. I'm not trying to handle you.
Well, they're outside in the environment.
It went through a welding glove. I mean, knives don't even go through welding gloves.
Those are some
You poke 'em in
razor-sharp
'em.
teeth, man.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Jeez.
They're like little miniature beavers. They can
Who
take down.
knows? I don't know. But if I had to have an exotic pet, I would like to have a kinkajou.
I have no idea what kind of Pokemon that
Really?
is.
You don't? Oh my gosh, Bob. Okay. Well, during the
This
break, I'll have
Pokemon
to show
thing's
you a
gone
video.
too far.
What? I don't know who that is. I'm turning that off. Okay. Yeah. During the break, I'll show you what
It's
a
like a
Pikachu
sugar
is.
baby.
It looks like it's a primate. It's like a monkey, but a squirrel monkey. Like, it's weird.
You know how many tickling slow loris videos? I thought that was the most adorable thing. I'm like, oh my god, they're tickling the slow loris. Whoa, he looks so happy. And then like I read this thing. There's like, yeah, they're torturing the slow loris. He's reaching for venom to attack. He hates this. And I'm like, oh, you ruined my tickling slow loris. All right, y'all stop tickling those things. They hate you. I hate it when you do that. They just can't defend them because you've declawed them.
Oh,
Otherwise,
my
they'd tear your face off for tickling them like that.
What if you had a pet platypus? Because I know that those are the weirdest animals, man.
I like my dog. I like my chickens. I like my bunnies.
Normal stuff, right?
I don't even have a cat. That's too many animals. I got a goldfish. I'm keeping it pretty straightforward here.
Yeah.
Like, there's a program, and if I had the time, I mean, if the squirrel was cool, like, if he was cool and I had to raise it with a bottle from a baby, and then maybe we got a different program. But I'm not trying to capture it and make it my own.
Yeah. You really do have to start young with animals.
Right.
Being around humans and whatnot.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind being a falconer, too.
Oh, man. I think about that. That would be really cool. I could see you doing that.
Yeah.
I could.
Just walk around with a big bird.
Just don't use
Watch
your
out.
welding gloves.
There goes your eyeball. You shouldn't have talked so much trash.
Bet you hate life now, don't you? All right. Okay, well, it's time for another break, y'all. Stay tuned. All right, we're back with the Slanted Sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Slanted Sandwich time.
But we've got some news for KZSM. So there's a Kissing Alley concert series promo for May. Oh, I'm reading the title here. Yes. Your friends here at KZSM.org and the incredible people at the City of San Marcos Main Street program are proud to present the inaugural season of live music with the Kissing Alley concert series. This is going on for May 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. Live music from Keros and Pat Thomas Collective. So that's going on. And also, for those that are tuning in to KZSM, please donate. We need the money. We realize we only have one pair of headphones.
I don't even have AirPods.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know what I sound like.
Actually, you're doing a good job, Bob.
Thank you.
You're doing good. Doing good. Anyway, so yeah, $5, $10, $1,000, whatever you got, give it to us. All right. So yeah, yep. We're the Slanted Sandwich. Weird news at noon. We are almost at our second hour. We covered some interesting topics from military teaching robots how to shoot guns and dead birds falling in Galveston and all kinds of interesting stuff. So
Now we're going to talk about Japanese people and their lack of ninjas.
well, yeah, I mean, we can kind of jump around. Why not?
We'll keep it brief.
Yeah, well, all of these are kind of brief. I tried to not make such lengthy news articles. Okay.
You know how French people are always like, oh, You know?
You should have given me a warning. My eardrums hurt now.
Yeah, like that. And like Japanese people are like, huh.
Well,
It's a different but they still have a You know, I feel like no matter what, like, there's a couple
French
words.
is more nasally, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, but it's really low. It's like the Japanese low for the male.
More gruntal.
Grunt? Yeah. I'm all about it. I always thought I've seen a bunch of Japanese hairdresser looking dudes. And then I actually met one and he was totally into my work. And he kind of did that like Japanese grunt. I was like, yes. He did the samurai grunt towards my work. He was like, yeah, that's good. You know, like
bucket list thing is checked
it's so
off
good.
now.
Check it off. I got the samurai grunt. I got the approval
like
of
the
a
best
Japanese
compliment ever.
samurai. Yeah, I'm totally fond of like Japanese culture. I dig it. One of my high school teachers was named Thomas Venata, and he was half German, half Japanese, and he was a badass.
Man,
like he
that's
took
cool.
a samurai sword into class, and this kid had been mouthing off, just meh, 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 meh. And he's like, yeah, I talked to the principal. She said it's totally cool if I brought this in here. Look how sharp it is. Thwack! And just stuck it in his desk. And he's just like, what are you gonna do? Kill me with that? And he's just like, I wouldn't dirty the blade. And he just puts it back in his sheath and walks back to his desk.
Wait, so he did that specifically for that one student?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, he
my-
was a badass. I'm not even joking. This guy was, he had this old busted up car, and his license plate was personalized. It said Ronin.
Oh my god!
It means masterless samurai. This guy was a badass. He was a badass. He walked around with a cane. He didn't have to say much.
Man,
He didn't have to say much, but we knew. I knew.
Jeez,
I recognize a samurai when I see one.
That's pretty intense. But
Yeah.
how entertaining that would be in class for that to happen.
Yeah, he was a little
Jeez.
quiet after that.
Well, anyway, so going to the news article here, Japan, of course, is suffering from a ninja shortage. Gosh, consider this your daily reminder, people, that ninjas aren't just disposable targets for Chuck Norris to kick. Teenage turtles to emulate, or billion video game propagandists to tear to shreds. They're people too. Yep, not enough people, in fact, as Vice reports that the Japanese tourism industry is currently suffering from a crippling ninja shortage. Once hailed as master assassins and spies, the role of the ninja in modern Japan has become a much more performative gig, with tourists flocking to see them show off their elaborately choreographed skills. In parentheses, not that it's not still a grueling career path involving physical dexterity, martial arts training, sword fighting, and more. But the operator of the Yep, that's Japan. Takagwa and Ieyasu and Horde Ninja Squad. I butchered that with a samurai sword. Okay. Named for a famed 16th century shogun and his most celebrated ninja supporter, says that a boom of ninja-themed attractions has created a scarcity of qualified ninjas. Said seller's market is presumably a boon for any ninjas in our audience, with one recent gig offering $1,600 a month for a year of non-murderous work. One troop operator did note that it's frustrating to be treated to a glut of unqualified performers who think their ninja gaiden skills will translate to real-world mastery, though, so you might want to shore up your stuff before pulling a black t-shirt over your head and packing your cardboard katana for the trip. So, yeah.
Yeah. I learned that Chuck Norris was half Cherokee.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's what kind of started that. Kids were poking fun at him.
Really?
Yeah.
It all started because of that.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Bullying was a big part of it, but
Man, he is just...
he looks like your average, white dude, but he ain't.
Yeah, he's really popular in Germany. People love that guy over
He's
there.
popular. The world knows about Chuck Norris. You could draw a picture of Chuck Norris in Bangkok, and they go, "Oh yeah, Chuck Norris. Yeah, we know that guy." There's only a couple things. I could go anywhere in the world and go, "Look, Texas," and they go, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
you're from Texas. I mean, Chuck Norris is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, you can go to the Inuit. You can go Maasai people, the Bushmen of Africa. Michael Jackson, Chuck Norris. I mean,
Jeez.
if you don't know about these people, you must literally be hiding out with your head under a rock on Mars. On Mars.
Yeah.
And even in Mars, they're like, oh yeah, Chuck Norris, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, we know that guy.
Yeah, aliens from across the universe. Yeah.
We are tweeting out into space. This radio show, aliens, totally tuning in to the Slanted Sandwich. They're like, well, it's hard to get answers on that planet. We like to tune into the Slanted Sandwich at noon on Mondays to really get a feel for these people.
We like to know what
Before
they're
we
saying
invade.
about us, all the false stuff out there, right?
Well, if they want to clear that up, they're welcome to.
Yeah, they're more than welcome.
They're more than
to.
welcome.
I mean,
Clear it up. You can just walk through my wall anytime. Use your Jedi mind tricks and
but if they walk through your wall, would anybody else know? I would rather see them walking down the street in the Capitol or something.
I gave up on would you rather's with them. They're sneaky. They'll take you through the wall.
Oh snap!
Yeah, they're pretty strange, man. ETs are.
Dude, yeah.
They got it's AM and FM. Okay, humans are telepathic, but we got the good AM frequency, which is lower peaks and troughs, but it goes a greater distance. And ETs are very psychic, but they're good on the FM shortwave wavelength. Their distance is not good.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
that's why they want us dead. Some of them.
Jeez.
There's a group of people who are like, man, if the humans actually figured out how to use their AM transmitter, the little crystal radio they got in their head, they're going to be a hard force to stop. They'll see us coming.
Where do you get those things? I mean, I guess you have to just order them online now.
What are you talking about?
Radios, FM, AM radios.
AM? Mm-hmm. It's a standard. Every radio is an AM, FM.
No, I know, but never mind.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about now.
I guess you just have to stream it off of iTunes now, or stream things off of online. Because
Well, that's the internet. I'm talking about radio.
I know you
frequency.
are. I just don't know. For people wanting to get one locally, where do you get one? Where do you go get a radio? now?
Radio Shack, Walmart, anywhere
guess
that sells a
Walmart.
radio,
Yeah.
car speaker place.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Maybe there's
moving
someone
on.
local we could throw out. Give them some business.
Man, if anything, we need more donations.
On the AM radio, except there's nothing going on the AM radio, though. It's mostly like religious talk
Or highly political stuff
or highly political stuff.
with barking people.
Barking people.
I will say Rush Limbaugh has a cat.
We could be a lot more famous than we are.
I think so too.
We're just kind of doing a thing.
It's a starters radio program. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're doing good. All right, well, it's already that time for another break. Can you believe it? All right, well, we'll be back again.
This is Tina, your host for the Morning Glory Show, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tune in to hear some fantastic music in Christian, gospel, country, and rock. Also, get the latest community events that are going on around this oh-so-beautiful town of ours, San Marcos, Texas. This is KZSM.org, your community radio station.
All right, so we're back with the Slanted Sandwich. It's Lauren and Bob.
In the morning.
Yes.
It's a morning show for college students who are just waking up after a long weekend of partying.
Yep. Wonderful party. Sorry.
Unless you're me and you just hung out in your tool shed, twiddling your thumbs,
Do.
listening to YouTube videos
Chipping away at the
about
bit.
remote viewing
Yeah.
like a freak. All right, let's do this.
Learning how to astral project. I'm almost in trance. Jeez.
Religion. religion.
That's my
Interesting.
That's my mantra.
Your personal affirmation.
I put my fingers together and I sit like like Indian style, not lotus, because that hurts. And then I just say religion.
God. I wouldn't want to be your neighbor. It's like, make this guy stop.
What's he doing over there?
It's been 2 weeks.
All right, let's try it. He's onto something. Religion. It just catches on. The whole neighborhood's doing it.
It's like they've gone through the 5 steps of acceptance. And it's like, I can't make the guy stop. I might as well, if I can't beat him, join him.
Why does that whole neighborhood sound like there's a general religion? Everybody in the neighborhood's chanting.
Oh, man. Somebody's coming in with a giant singing bowl on top of it all.
Who started this? Some maniac hanging out in his tool shed.
He needed it. God. Good one. All right. Moving on. I wonder if the hermit in the middle of nowhere would be doing it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so something I kind of wanted to talk about for those of you who've been tuning into the Slanted Sandwich, I tend to be really fascinated with stories of people going missing. I don't know why. It's like, hopefully I don't like manifest something, knock on wood. But I'm reading a story about the North Pond Hermit. His name is Christopher Knight, and he lived in just rural Maine for 27 years. And he lived in an area where there were still houses and cabins around. And the nearest cabin was like literally like 300 feet away. Like it was really, really close. And still nobody knew he was there. 27 years.
Obviously wasn't making a lot of noise.
Yeah, when he was finally busted for breaking into a camp's refrigerator or deep freeze, getting, like ground beef, the cops, they just heard, they'd heard about the North Pond Hermit, but everybody just thought it was a legend. Nobody thought it was real until finally
they started missing their stuff.
Yeah, like
I'll convince you it's real.
It's pretty fascinating. I mean, the book starts out talking about how, like everybody wishes they could just get away from society every once in a while. This guy grew up pretty normal, except that his parents were really intelligent and they homeschooled their kids with learning a lot of vocational things and listening to lots of classical music. They all played instruments. I mean, but overall, all of that seemed to already make the kids very, very intelligent. And then, so this guy, after high school, he didn't really want to get a job. So he just drove to a park, drove his car into the woods. He just got a new Subaru, and his brother helped him sign the lease on it. And he parked it in the woods and hadn't touched it in 27 years. And so
it's mint.
Yeah.
Except for the squirrels living in it.
Oh, it's probably not mint anymore, but he quit driving and he just went and lived, and he'd never once lit a fire. 27 years, and he survived.
He stole propane tanks.
He did. There were probably gas stove stuff, but not an actual, like, I'm going to roast some marshmallows, because he did not want to give a clue to anybody that he was there. He said one word to one person in his entire time out there.
It was a hiker, right?
Yeah, he said, hi. That's it. Hi. One word. And then
you got to restart your clock on your 0 days without a word said.
I know. He's like, darn, I got to start my tallies all over again.
Yeah. I shouldn't have said hi to that guy.
But he would go into, he stole a total of 1,080 times. 40 times a year he would steal. He felt guilty every single time he did it too.
But he's like, dude, filet mignon or hanging out in the woods with myself.
Like he was up to date on all the current events. He knew who the Kardashians were. You know, like
He probably knew more about the Kardashians than I did. Some hermit hanging out in the
he
woods
probably
by himself.
did. And like when they went to raid his tent, like they found that he was using the magazines he'd been stealing as like a bed, like underneath the mattresses and stuff. And so he'd just been doing a lot of reading. He did have a radio. But what's interesting is
he drank too. He'd still go through your liquor cabinets. You'd be like,
Did he?
Strawberry Boone's Farm.
I don't know if he did.
Chocolate.
He was a huge candy lover, though.
Huge candy,
Like,
huge drinker.
He saw like a Halloween bag, some kid's candy.
They did
He
a little
stole the whole thing.
Psych profile on him. Figured out he's probably most likely autistic.
Well, I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Oh, I read the whole thing. What are you talking about?
You read A Stranger in the Woods. Like it just came out. The book just came out.
I read the guy who interviewed him when he was in jail.
It must be the same person because this was a journalist who interviewed him, and
Yeah.
like he did not like it. He did not like.
He didn't like
human
anybody. He didn't like people.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about being a hermit. He's like, why doesn't you warm up to this
I
guy
know.
showing you so much love and he's being a sweetheart? He's visiting you in jail. He's like, you don't get it. I'm a
But-
misanthropist. I hate everybody. You're not my friend. I don't care about you.
Yeah.
I will tell you things, but I hate you.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Kind of nature of the disorder, misanthropy and
when
autism.
when he found out that people were referring to him as a hermit, he's like, "Wow, I never would have called myself a hermit."
I would have said I'm more of a glorified forest thief than a wizard.
I guess
mean,
it
not
would
wizard.
be pretty glorious. But
Hermit.
okay, so how he survived in the cold?
By stealing everything.
He knew that frostbite happens when you sweat. So what he would do every winter, every single night, is he wouldn't sleep. He would just slowly pace around inside his tent, staying alive but not sweating. Because if you're in your sleeping bag all the way, you start to sweat. And he didn't want to fall asleep. And he did that for 27 years every winter. And so like during the summer months, that's when he did a lot of his stealing. He was like a bear. He like had to get fat, you know, and do more of his stealing during the summer months. But during the week, he said that like it was the weekdays that he would do most of the stealing, obviously, because weekends bring a lot of people. But yeah.
He was sort of an atheist, you know? And we were asking about, like, well, how did it get so cold? He's like, sometimes I just prayed through the night. He's like, I have a philosophical opposition to the concept of God, but there were sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's so cold. God, help me. Ah, it's cold. You know, and he's just over there ranting and raving, praying to God. And he's like, you know, I'm an atheist, but come on, help out. Turn up the heat.
Turn up the heat.
This is ridiculous. You hate me, don't you?
Oh man. Oh god.
Not that you exist or anything.
Yeah. Well, something interesting that I took from the interview with the author of the book, he's like the only journalist who actually wrote him a letter. And that's the only reason Chris Knight decided to reply to the guy, is that it was a handwritten letter. And he was really, really patient. Like the journalist's first reply from Chris Knight was only like 2 paragraphs long, you know, and obviously his handwriting was really awful. And the police officers noted that his language was just, you know, not speaking for 27 years is very rusty. So it's interesting. It's an interesting social experiment with one person. You
Probably
know?
spoke like Emerson or Thoreau.
He did
all the
read a
books he
lot of really intelligent books.
They call me Ishmael the Hermit from Maine. You know what I mean? He's probably very eloquent.
Maybe, but it
Broken.
was funny because when you know, obviously the neighbors around there, all the people living around there would start noticing that, you know, they thought that they were losing their minds because it wouldn't be anything like valuable. Like it was never jewelry or high cost TV stereo systems that were stolen.
Too, though, if he stole jewelry He's just hanging out there like Mr. T.
Putting it all on him, like decked
Mr. T, the
out.
hermit.
That's how I keep warm. All these chains on me. I don't know, but
Got so much ice.
But after several years, people realize like it's not my brain. Like things really are going missing. And then they finally had like a neighborhood meeting to talk about what was going on. And finally, some people were so amused. Some of the neighbors were so amused that they're like, you know what? Let's just write a note. Say, hey, what do you need? And I'll get it for you.
And put stuff outside the house. They'd be like, here, batteries. You stole batteries last time. Here's some batteries. He'd walk past the batteries and go in the house. He's like, it's a trap.
Yeah.
I'm not falling for the old batteries
really
and
careful.
plain sight trick.
He would unscrew the hinges on doors instead of trying to unlock them at times. He would just take the whole door off and then put it back on once he was done. I mean, interesting stuff. The one thing that I thought was interesting wasn't necessarily during the time he was living out there, but his family had learned how to they made a greenhouse that was year round by putting big several dozens of gallons of water. They put it underneath the ground, and of course, like during the day, it would heat up. And so at night, it would stay hot. And so they put a greenhouse on top of that. And that was how they were able to keep the greenhouse warm at night. And so it's like energy efficient. That's totally off grid. So he learned how to do those little things. And pretty interesting book. It's called The Last Known Hermit, whatever.
Everybody's kind of hermits. There's people who... They started playing World of Warcraft in like 96 or something like that. They're still in there. We haven't seen them. They haven't come out for a date. What? They've been eating Mountain Dew.
Eating
Cheetos.
Mountain Dew?
Yeah, like a diet of Mountain Dew and Cheetos. They've been playing World of Warcraft. They're just like, we haven't seen them for a long time. There's some hermits still out there. They'll merge eventually.
Jeez. Well, the book also goes into detail about the types of hermits out there.
That's what I'm saying. World of Warcraft hermit.
Yeah, right. Video game hermits.
Video game hermits.
Yeah.
You're like, man, wow, you got vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, this guy did not have that.
I don't want to lose the world.
In fact, he learned how to he hadn't looked at himself in a mirror for 27 years. He learned how to shave without a mirror. It's a pretty fascinating book. Anyways, well, it's a time for a break again. So, yep. Hang tight. All right, everybody, we're back with the Slanted Sandwich, your weird news from noon until 2 with Bob and Lauren.
I'm still here.
Oh, he's back.
We're talking about hermits, squirrels.
Yeah, we've got the hermits, but so I was trying to look up a sandwich for our Slanted Sandwich today, and
if y'all aren't eating sandwich, you're not part of the Slanted Sandwich Club.
I mean, I'm looking at sandwiches that probably are going to give you a heart attack, to be honest. I don't even know if it should be legal.
Main thing is
to,
any
talk
of them
about
have
these
sauerkraut.
What? Wait, what?
You know what's funny is like how sometimes like if it's the same person, they're like, I love kimchi, and you're like, do you like sauerkraut? And they're like, no. And it's like, I can't even tell the difference. You give me kimchi and you give me sauerkraut, I'm like, cabbage with a little salt on it.
Is it the same thing, technically? I actually have never had what you were saying.
I'm just saying, the differences are so minor that you can't really... But there's people who like, love kimchi, hate sauerkraut, and I've encountered these people, and it makes a whole lot of sense. So I'm just putting it out there like...
Be open-minded and just be honest.
I think what that is they're like, it's Asian, so it's special. And like sauerkraut is like, yeah, Germans eat the same thing. It's called sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
we didn't bury it for 4.5 years or whatever. Turns out some of that's unnecessary.
Well, I'm not seeing anything with sauerkraut on them. Oh my gosh. What is this?
I don't know. Is it a sandwich?
It's not technically a sandwich. It's called the Candwich, and it's like canned sandwiches. Look at that. Canned sandwiches.
All right, that's our sandwich for the day.
A peanut
canned
butter and
sandwich.
jelly sandwich in a can.
In a can?
Like, not just peanut butter and jelly. They've also got barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken
And
sandwich in a can.
Ooh. Like, okay, so it's either PBJ strawberry or PBJ grape.
Now introducing chicken sandwich in a can.
God, that just...
All right, that's our slanted sandwich for the day. Let's give that
I
one up.
wouldn't want to, like...
Not every
read
sandwich we introduce has to be the best sandwich.
No.
I'm just saying, with a side of sauerkraut. Y'all need some sauerkraut in your life.
That might be the best thing for you to eat. And
Don't even eat canned sandwiches.
Yeah, I would be curious.
You know,
to
Spam's
see...
all right if you fry it. Some people like Spam raw. I can do Spam, but you got to fry it first.
Okay.
I can't just take my spoon, open my Spam, dig my spoon inside of the Spam, and eat it. For me, that is nasty. But if I get a cast iron skillet and take that Spam, and you fry that Spam, you get that.
Was this like a last attempt for a dinner at some point?
I've eaten some fried Spam.
Was
got
it just like, man, I can't leave the house?
No, I'm saying like the thinner you slice it, the better. If you can get like a 3/8 inch, you know, get your calibrator, get your calipers out, and you go 3/8 of an inch. Switch it, and you slice that Spam, and you get 3/8 of an inch. I think I just spammed the slanted sandwich. I think that's what just happened. I didn't mean to accidentally advertise for Spam, but if you're gonna do it, fry it. They should be paying us. How come they're not paying us for that? I just said that for free. I feel so bad in my soul. All right, moving on.
That would be pretty ironic if Spam.
I just helped them advertisement. They should be
spam
sending me
mail.
some money. I'm not gonna say it again. Let's move on.
All right.
I feel bad now. I feel bad. I won't.
Okay, just stop.
Nope. Nobody buys Spam.
Okay.
Reverse advertisement.
I don't think. Yeah, I think
Until they pay me.
people will choose not to buy it, Bob. Or okay.
You see Spam, you run. You run the other way. Until they pay me.
Jeez. All right. Well, Stephen Hawking says humans must flee Earth within the century. Not surprised.
They did what to the Earth?
Oh, that Stephen Hawking just said humans must flee Earth within a century. I did not
How about
say
we
that.
get Stephen Hawkins on a giant catapult and just go, look, enough of your lip, dude. And just fling him out in space. Go, look, this guy's smart. You can have him. You can have him. He's been talking. He's been running his lip the whole time.
I don't know if he was... Are you sure it's his lip or his computer lip?
He ran his lip off, and we made him a computer to speak because he'd been running his lip before that. And he didn't give a single bit of helpful advice. He's always just talking trash about humans. Don't trust extraterrestrials because they're just going to give you wedgies and take your lunch money. He's just always on it, just always on something like that.
Jeez.
I know. I'm thinking it's time to get a giant trebuchet and just fling him out into space and go, Stephen Hawking, bye.
Did you
And just
see...
fling him out.
Did
Of course,
you-
it probably just gets stuck in orbit. You know, we just have like the Black Knight. Like, who's that guy?
So
Just flying overhead.
This is terrible. I don't want to... I mean, not to disrespect
I don't want to have
Stephen.
Stephen Hawking stuck in our orbit. We got to make sure this thing really gets out there, too.
He's probably just going to get stuck with all the other, like, space
debris.
junk out
Yeah.
there.
Well, it'd be space degree, all those kind of like AOL satellites they send up
So-
there, and then Stephen Hawking.
Not to disrespect Stephen Hawking, but...
That's what I was doing. But you go ahead and do your thing, too.
What? Not to disrespect him. But do bodies decompose in space, I wonder?
No, it's totally anaerobic. Water bears do fine in space.
Okay, we talked about that for the last two
Right.
shows now.
Tardigrades.
I think that's really your spirit
People
animal.
get surprised when I'm like, I don't know about Stephen Hawking, man. I think he's really smart. You know, I think he's really smart. But like, what's your big plan? What's your big idea for humans, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You wrote your book. You get your little celebrity status. It's not like you're telling people to build a greenhouse. You're just like, just leave the planet. Just go. Just leave. We hate you.
You better
we
figure
hate you.
this
All
out.
you people need to go. Leave me to the planet. It'll be me, Stephen Hawkins on the planet by myself. Y'all get out of here.
The grass is not greener on Mars.
It's more red, actually, yeah. But, they find all these things and they go, it looks like there might be some sort of vegetation happening on Mars.
Oh, whoops, we're wrong.
Oh, wait, that's just the artifact, digital artifact that happens to look like a piece of broccoli. There's got to be life on Mars. Look at it. It's too cool. It's too cool of a spot. It's next to the sun. It's right next to Earth. You know how Earth looks.
Next to the sun. Okay.
I mean, it's so close to. It's like not even that far out from Earth, and Earth looks like Jumanji. Mm-hmm. Okay, so don't tell me there's not a single fidgety little thing happening on Mars. Don't tell me it's just a dead thing with not a single cockroach.
Yeah.
There's got to be something scurrying around in the desert. It doesn't want to be seen maybe a whole lot, but there's got to be something going on Mars. Don't tell me there's nothing. Don't tell me that there's not a fern hanging out somewhere like, I'm a lonely Martian fern hanging out with my other fern friends. Not a whole lot going on, but I'm just saying I believe in life on Mars. I think it would be, what would surprise me is if there was no life on Mars. That would surprise me. I would be like, well, okay, I guess there really are dead planets.
But
let me lifeless.
Let me just read this real quick. We got 2 minutes till another
Stephen
break.
Hawking's.
Stinking Stephen Hawking. No. Stephen Hawking is giving humanity a tall order, as Bob was just explaining. Colonize Mars in the next century or watch as life on Earth fizzles out. After last year claiming that humans have 1,000 years left on Earth, Hawking says in a new documentary that we instead have about 100 years. He changed his mind. He flip-flopped until we need to jump ship as Earth is overwhelmed by overpopulation, climate change, disease, and artificial intelligence. It might be a bit premature to start packing, but the BBC's Expedition New Earth documentary series will explore technological and scientific advances that will enable life in space or a colony on another planet, reports The Telegraph. It will show Hawking's ambition isn't as fantastical as it sounds. The science fact is closer to science fiction than we ever thought, says the BBC, per Newsweek. So, yeah, that's that.
Everybody, look,
pretty simple.
The thing about it is,
get out of here.
We humans, everybody like humans are going to do themselves in. They're going to do themselves in. Look at them. We got the technology to mess ourselves up. We're going to mess ourselves up and die. Like, that's everybody's philosophy. We made it this far. Do we already make it 3.4 billion years? Like, you remember when we were tree shrews and we're like, oh, yeah, giant T-Rex is bully. Mm-hmm. And we took them out.
Well,
we did our bunch of little tree shrews doing a little dance like, hey, asteroid, come this way. T-Rex is being
cutting the rug.
Right. It was all that rain dancing that got us into this mess. And so the little tree shrews, they'd hang out and do, and that's what they like summoned a asteroid to take out their major competitors, the T-Rex. They would eat them for lunch. They're like, oh yeah, tree shrews, yum.
But T-Rexes are carnivores.
Yeah, T-Rexes eating tree shrews.
You mean like they kind of like dogs? They'll eat grass to like ease their stomach.
Humans are all like, you know what a mud skipper is? They jump out of the ground. They're like, yeah, we do fine. We're fine on the mud. We bark. They have language. They're like, I'm a mud skipper. And then they like flop back in the water. They're like, oh, this pond sucks. I'm going to go to the other pond. They like jump over the land, crawl onto a tree,
let's talk about
out another pond, go down that pond.
Dude, yeah, we'll talk about that video when we come back from the break. We already have another break. It's like time flies. I don't know where it goes. All right.
Money through my mouth. We're going to talk about time and language next.
Yeah. Well, we also have another creature to talk about as well.
Okay.
So, all right. We'll be back.
Just a reminder reminder that every Saturday night from midnight to 3, it's me, Jack B.
And me, Mac Cavelio.
Playing some of the greatest doo-wop from the 50s and 60s, all on kzsm.org, San Marcos.
All right, we're back. Man, we were doing really good there for a second.
I got on a tangent about throwing Stephen Hawkins.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't really mean
Well, I was going to ask you, did you ever see him do the weightless airplane trick that they do?
They took him into space?
No, but they dropped the plane to
With
where
him in
you're
it?
like, yeah, like there's a plane that you can pay to like go up into the air as far as it can go, and then it just sort of nosedives down,
Yeah.
and you become weightless. And so there's like Stephen Hawking just like in fetal position, kind of like tumbling, So when we were talking about him in space, I just instantly went back to that image of him in the plane.
Well, maybe that's what I was thinking. I was
Maybe
like, yeah, it'd be
so.
cool to just watch him tumble around through space instead of running his mouth.
Yeah.
Talking about how aliens are bad, we're going to kill ourselves, and negative Nancy.
Yeah.
He's got pretty anti-Carl Sagan. I'm more of a Carl Sagan. I'm like, oh, E.T., check us out.
Yeah.
Watch us cut a rug. Bow, 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 bow. Doing big crop circles, sending things out into space. Looking like we got a man and a woman. And we got some music. This is what we jam to. Yeah. Like, that's Carl Sagan. And then, like, Stephen Hawking's like, don't do that. You're going to attract bullies.
Okay. Well, why don't go ahead and read us the next news article.
It's a good point, but I'm like, whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we get here. If they show up, we'll show them how we get down.
All right. What were we talking about? Anyways.
If they show up. They've been showing up. I can't get them to go away.
Well, Bob, you want to read this while I line up my music here?
What are we talking about?
The 508 million year old sea monster had 50 legs and giant claws.
Okay. All right. Yep. 508 million year old sea creature had 50 legs and giant claws. That's right. That's one that looks weirder than a weird lobster with 50 legs, 2 claws, and a tent-like shell. It's the oldest known arthropod with mandibles on record, a new study finds. Researchers discovered the first of 21 fossil specimens in sedimentary rock in Kootenay National Park in British Columbia, Canada, in 2012. They named the roughly 4-inch long... 4-inch? 4-inch? I thought I had something in my head that was a lot bigger than that. Creature.
Surprise.
I was seeing sea monsters in my head, and then they're like, is he 4-inch long? I don't even want to read this article. But anyway, it's called Tocumia catalepsis, honoring Tacum Creek, which runs along the northern part of the park through Marble Canyon, where the fossils are found. The species name, catalepsis, is derived from the Greek word meaning for seizing. Like other Cambrian animals, K. catalepsis looks bizarre by today's standards. The predator has 50 paddle-like legs and likely helped it swim and walk in a tropical sea, and it had a pair of very strong claws. Some of the strongest claws we have seen in any Cambrian arthropod, says study co-author Jean-Bernard Carallon, a senior curator of invertebrate paleontology at Royal Ontario Museum in Canada. These claws likely helped the animal grasp and pierced soft-bodied prey such as worms, he said. The critter also had a bivalve, 2-halved shell and 2 tiny eyes at the base of its antenna. But K. catalepsis' most famous features are its serrated mandibles, Carone said.
Serrated.
That reminds me of my brother, and he went to a zoo with this guy from high school, and the guy was just shaking his head, and he was like staring at the penguins, and he's like, "What's up with the penguin? What's up, man?" And he's like, "Well, aren't they supposed to be bigger than this?" And he's like, "Well, how much bigger?" And he's like, "Well, I thought the penguins were 6 foot tall." Like he just thought they were these giant birds that just waddled around, and they were just like gigantic 6-foot-tall creatures. And then he saw penguins in real life and was very disappointed.
Weird.
I know. True story. Penguins really should be like 6 foot tall, though. Like just like the
Waddling
bouncers of
forth.
the Antarctic, you know.
The bouncers of the Arctic.
Do you know about that Brazilian guy who has that penguin that shows up every year?
No.
Ah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Well, it was this
Inform me,
penguin. Yeah,
enlighten me.
it goes during breeding time.
Mm-hmm.
This penguin got crosswired. You know, first off, it got off course. And then this Brazilian guy found it, and he feeds it fish. And then the penguin's like, oh, biological clock ticking. I got to go hang out with my penguin friends. And he swims off. Penguin friends, penguins. And so then he runs off. And then he shows back up the next year. It's been 14 years in a row. This penguin's been showing up with this Brazilian guy, and they hang out with him and his wife feeding fish.
Man.
Yeah, they're like buds.
Interesting.
I know.
The relationships between humans and animals.
Right? Squirrels, penguins.
I wonder if that will continue for
Penguins.
all robots.
I like penguins.
Oh, gosh. Bob's voices.
Yeah.
Man.
This is the perfect job.
It really is. Okay. So
I'll get you sound funny.
Actually, for the first time over the weekend, I did see a video of a mollusk.
A mullet.
A mollusk.
Is that like a creature with a mullet?
No. It's a creature that looks like a sea slug.
With a mullet?
No mullet. No mullet. No mollusk with a mullet.
Oh, okay. It's for the Greek.
But
Party in the front.
It
Or business in the front, party in the back.
Oh,
Come
gosh.
from the Greek. Word for business up front, party in the back.
You
Sorry,
know?
mollusks, yeah, they have shells. Yeah, they live in the sea.
Well-
you know that roly-polies are
Dang it, Bob.
crustaceans?
Are they really?
Yeah, they're like a
That
sea
makes
life
sense.
that crawl
I mean,
up on
they're
Earth.
crunchy.
Much like our mudskipper friends.
I mean, they're crunchy. I can
How do you
see
know?
that.
Do you eat them? You sit there like...
No, they turn into those little balls, and you can imagine it being crunchy if you were to eat one.
I think they
wouldn't
turn into
want to eat one.
armadillos eventually. If you give them enough time,
You
enough
know what?
evolution, they just get hairy and...
That sounds like a
Hang out
tall
in
tale
Texas.
you could tell a kid, and they will grow up thinking and believing that.
I like to tell kids that there didn't used to be all this color. It used to be all black and white, and then one of these days it just like was like, poof, oh, color. We had it. I don't know.
Wait, what?
Show them I Love Lucy and just be like, hey, look, see, that's what reality used to look like.
Oh my god!
It happened, from best we can tell, it happened somewhere around the time of Wizard of Oz. That's when things started getting real colorful. They made a documentary about it called Pleasantville.
Interesting.
If you really want to mess with a kid, tell them there didn't used to be all this color.
Jeez. Any tall tales your parents told you?
I like story time with Uncle Bob.
It's all true. Oh gosh. All right. Switching subjects, whiplash style. Bilingual speakers experience time differently. That's really all you need to know. Linguist Professor Panos Anthenos. Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes I just avoid news articles that have crazy names in them just so I don't have to get stuck with them. But anyway, this guy named Panos and Professor Emmanuel Byland, God, much easier to say, explain that bilinguals often go back and forth between their languages consciously and unconsciously. So like, for example, in Swedish and English, speakers refer to physical distances, like taking a short break versus taking a small break. So I think it's more of like thinking about time rather than like experiencing real time as it's going right now.
What do you
know
think
what I mean?
about time? You think that sometimes it
It's
feels a little crunchy? Sometimes it feels a
Theoretically,
little
not
gooey.
even like it,
Time's feeling a little stretchy today.
I think because we die.
I feel like I
We have
experience time biglier than most.
Wait, what?
I'm experiencing time in a bigly way today.
And a big.
I feel like I could just chew on time. This time is spicy. See how language affects time, guys? Be careful about how you talk about time. It could mess with your head.
You know, it's like conversations like that. It make you wonder, like the
crunchiness of today's
language.
time. Are you experiencing the crunchiness of today's time? Everything's segmented and crunchy.
Some people might think you're talking about hippies.
Time feels a little wavy. Have you experienced the waviness
Is that
of today's
somebody
time?
who's like kind of hippie? It's like, oh, they're wavy. They're not crunchy. Like,
Yeah, I don't know how crunchy became such a.
because it's crunchy granola. I don't know.
Crunchy
Somebody.
granola?
It started. I don't know. I would like to know.
I guess that's where I
came
fall
from.
in the hippie category. I'm like 10% hippie. I eat the chewy granola bars. I don't get the crunchy ones.
I don't know, man. You sit in your shed, chipping away. I don't know.
What do I do in my shed? Here are the balls that have been whacking off in my tool shed. That's my dad too.
Gee, wow. I'm like wondering if there are other. Oh, the mystery moving rocks. We forgot about that.
You know about King of the Hill?
Yeah, of course.
Well, you know about Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah.
You know the guy from Beavis and Butthead who became the guy from King of the Hill?
What's his name?
He's called the same boss.
Is it Mike something?
Mike Judge.
Yeah.
Hey, no. Hey, no, Mike
Well,
Judge.
I needed a refresher. All right, like I said, you know
We
what?
should have him like do an interview on the Slanted Sandwich.
Oh,
Mike
man,
Judge.
we are-
that'd be so much fun.
We are overdue for a break.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, we'll be back. Hopefully,
I'm
things
sorry.
Don't
You can listen to the best in local sports on KZSM. This is CJ.
And this is Brad.
And we host Hill Country Sports every Monday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. only on KZSM. We take you into the world of local sports and all the Texas teams you love to cheer for. Tune in every Monday from 6 to 7 for Hill Country Sports only on the Community Radio of San Marcos, KZSM.
All right, we're back with our last little bit of the Slanted Sandwich.
Yep, we're talking
Lordy
about
Bob.
launching Stephen Hawking into
Oh my
space.
gosh.
Getting him into orbit for running his mouth.
Is it bad to make fun of him?
No, I'm not making fun of him.
No, because
He's making fun of us. He's all like,
What? No.
you humans, I'm smarter than all of you. It's like, dude, I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear about you're so much smarter
Well, there was one day I was thinking.
all the time. I like stupid people, man. A lot of people, part of loving everybody is you got to love stupid people too.
Well, let me
That's
say
part of it.
this. At one point, you know how, like, I guess it was hot in like the 90s and early 2000s where people put like the hula girl on their dashboard or the dog that would bobble its head, you know? I thought about like a Stephen Hawking
bobblehead.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, that's hilarious.
I think it takes. My thing is this. I think it can't be all chiefs and no Indians. All right. You know, there's somebody out there, and they will say, you know, like, I got a bus pass and the girlfriend, and they're going to work, and I stack cans at the store, and that job challenges them, and they love it, and I love that person. Like I like stupid people, dude. Like people always hating. Like you get on the internet, you're an idiot. And I'm like, dude, I love that guy. I love that guy. He's made me smile.
Yeah.
That person has made me smile today. I love him. All right, and he's probably doing a job that would bore me to tears, and that challenges him. You know what I'm saying? Like fat people don't always be hearing about how they're fat, and crazy people like me don't always like hearing about how they're crazy. Idiots don't like being told that they're crazy all the time. You know what I mean? Like if you suspect somebody's crazy, you know, you don't have to make a point of telling them.
Yeah, like I would think that they would probably already know. It's like they don't need to remember.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hey, you know, I might be crazy, but I'm not, whatever. I'm a person.
Well, here.
I'm a human being. I like Elephant Man. I got the Elephant Man policy.
Jeez. Well,
Can't there be, you know, like I didn't ask for this.
I know you're avoiding it, Bob, but we need to talk about the mysterious moving rocks.
No, not the
Yes.
rocks. All right, let's talk about the rocks.
We might know about it, but some people might not.
Y'all know about the desert and these rocks that move around mysteriously?
Oh, Wow. Okay, so like Death Valley's sailing stones are able to move thanks to unique environmental conditions. I mean, I don't know why this news article was new. I don't. But I was like, whatever, I'm going to post it. There was some other interesting stuff, but they were lengthy. So anyways, so these rocks, yes, they move.
They moon people. That's all they do. They're just like, I'm in the desert mooning all of y'all. You wish you could be a moving rock moon. They're
You're
just
jealous.
mooning us.
Speaking of...
Jealous. If you had to be a rock, where's the coolest place you could be a rock? In Death Valley. Sliding around mysteriously. Cutting a rug.
Oh, man.
If I had to be a rock, I'm like, all right, you get to be a rock. You get to incarnate as a rock. You get to be anywhere on the planet Earth. Where would you like to be? Death Valley.
Maybe that's what the scientists did. They put
be a
down
square
like
rock.
a Oriental rug.
And then occasionally, I'd like to change directions.
Oh, man. Anyway, so the mystery of the sliding rocks. Okay, so these rocks, they just slide across a flat surface. And for a long time, scientists did not know what was causing them. Okay, so it says, have you ever seen a rock move? I mean, independently, not like roll after someone had kicked it or knocked it over. Well, with the exception of certain psychedelic experiences, I'm going to guess you haven't. But these rocks exist, and they stumped scientists for decades, as we were saying.
I'd like to put a stop sign out there in the middle of Death Valley. And just be like, stop. Obey traffic signs, rocks. Yield. You know, like it's traffic. Like
they're going so slow. Like that policeman's gonna stop a rock because it like ran a stop sign.
That is high art.
It's like looking at his watch. Okay, are you gonna run the
stop sign right in front of one of those rocks?
Jeez, paste a ticket on it.
Put a ticket, yeah, like a bunch of tickets. You're speeding. You're not supposed to go that fast, rock.
Well, it did say that it took until 2014 for scientists to conclusively uncover how the stones...
Rocks are just talking to each other in Death Valley, and they're just like, we're making great time.
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
Right.
Sliding around. Anyway, there's a reason for it. What's the reason? There's moisture on the ground that just allows like the tiniest microscopic movement.
At night, I think... Well, honestly,
wind.
Crap, I didn't paste
Turns
it in
out
there.
wind and moisture.
Yeah, it has. It's like it freezes at night or something.
Mm-hmm.
The wind moves the stones across, but then during the day, the ice is melted, and then the scientists are like, "How did this happen?
Where did the ice go?
Yeah.
Why is there ice in Death Valley? Because it's called Death Valley. It'll kill you with heat and it'll kill you with ice. Deal with it. Nobody lives here.
Scientists still haven't figured out what the morpholites are. You know, like that's something they still haven't figured out.
Extraterrestrials eating some bean burritos.
Oh gosh,
gassing up the joint, lighting their pooch on fire. Point. They're never gonna figure that out.
Oh geez.
E.T. pooch.
Waylon was jumping on the trampoline last night, and he was looking at the moon. He's like, "Look, Mom, the moon is jumping with me." It was a pretty cool observation. Like he noticed as he was jumping, the moon was moving. Yeah. Right. So
I got a cool idea for the moon.
What is that?
We're gonna get a bunch of mirrors.
Put a steering wheel on it and
glue
drive
a bunch of mirrors onto that thing.
Disco ball.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't look at the moon. It's gonna blind you.
Blinded by the light. We got a disco ball and we party all night.
How big would those panels be?
Big.
Like miles long. Don't break it!
Don't break it! We gotta make the panels on the moon. The backside of the moon, it only has to have disco lights on one side of it. Imagine the eclipse, though.
But I would feel like that was a failed endeavor still.
Failed? Disco ball?
Like if you just don't do the back part of it.
We're not seeing it.
I know. But
okay, we could spin the moon. We could put rockets on one side and whoo, and just get it going. And then, but that's after we put the mirrors on it. I mean, come on. Can we call this like Party Planet? We just call it Party Planet. We call it Earth Party 2017. We got a disco ball moon. ETs are invited.
It's 2017. We don't have that much time.
We got to do it now, guys.
It might be.
We're funding all these wars, but what we really ought to be putting our money towards is the moon disco ball. Not in terrorism as we thought. You can't party. You can't plan your malicious intentions underneath a disco ball. It's unheard of. Nobody's all like, hey, look at the disco ball moon. These guys got the day. You know, you can't do it. This girl told me that glitter raises her endorphins, that it made her happy. You know, every time I've woken up with glitter on myself, I woke up a little bit happier.
Really?
That's a true story.
That's good.
So I'm saying there might be something to it. We need to glue a bunch of mirrors onto our moon and spin it.
You think this is an attempt to make people
We call this
happy.
Party Planet.
Party.
Yeah, we're all miserable. We're all like, well, I'm going to go work. I'm going to make some money, pay the government, then I'm going to get my spam, then I'm going to go eat it, then I'm going to go and watch the boob tube for a minute. Everybody'd be out there dancing. You know?
There's no such thing as walking.
We dance to work. I don't need a car anymore. I learned how to hop, skip, and jump. Watch this. We would like form lines like the Soul Train just to get to work. Nobody's walking to work anymore.
Oh my God.
I moonwalked to
Doing
work
the
today.
wave. Doing the wave to work.
I pop and lock to work. You don't know. I got my finger pointed towards the ground, towards the sky, towards the ground, towards the sky. Disco style to work.
Yeah, but in
What you
your
know about
world,
that?
Bob, you wouldn't put on the Bee Gees, and that kind of just
Bee
goes
Gees!
with the Bee Gees.
Everybody would be talking like the Bee Gees if the moon was a disco ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I got big plans. You know, you got to dream big.
imagine
I've always considered myself a bit of
like,
a dreamer.
well, you know, you make your dreams come true in your woodshed.
At least
Bob.
paint it yellow. You know, with some big old happy face. Like, oh yeah, the moon's happy. Man on the moon. We need a literal man on the moon. We can't be like, it's a rabbit, it's a dragon. No, big, yellow, happy face.
Gotcha.
Or a disco ball.
I guess
There's not a whole lot you can do with
that's a
sphere.
coin toss. That's a coin toss.
But I'm going with the disco ball.
I
We'll see if
kind of
the
like
money's
that
there.
one too. Yeah.
Yeah, yellow paint still kind of.
But I feel like you would have to make those mirror panels kind of small just so it can still twinkle and sparkle. Because
Yeah.
if they were too big, you wouldn't see it sparkle, I don't think, as well. I don't know. Theory. Okay, really, like, that's it. That we're landing. This is our last note on the Slanted Sandwich.
Moon needs to be a disco
moon
ball.
Needs to be
Y'all
a
need to
disco
get
ball.
happy. That's your problem. You
Yeah.
ain't happy. You've been listening to Stephen Hawkins telling you to leave the planet. That's your problem. We got people passing by listening to our radio show.
Gawking at us.
They don't know what's
disco
going on in
ball moon.
Party Planet
There's
2017.
people already
Spending all this money on blowing people up. We need a
All
pizza
right,
party.
We gotta go. It's 2.
All right.
All right.
Later,
Cut a
homies.
rug.